And welcome everyone to West Coast Flow. My name is Mark Cormier. I'm here with Kathy Cormier, and we will do a 50-minute yoga practice. Thank you all for watching. Any comments or suggestions, please feel free to put in the comment section. We can always focus on a particular pose or part of the body you want to explore or stretch or strengthen. Anyway, let me introduce Kathy. Are you ready, Kath?
I'm ready.
You got your Giants gear on.
I do. I'm about to take it off though. It's pretty warm here in the yoga room.
You want to put a fan on?
No, it's all right. I'll just take I'll strip a little bit in the Giants gear.
Cool. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling good.
Excellent. Well, you're looking good.
Oh, thank you. Looking good, feeling good. I got my tea, I got my Giants gear, the sunny room. You're wearing Giants gear as well.
I am. It's a big day today for us here in San Francisco.
Yes.
And if you're watching down in LA, equally big for you. May the best team win. Not really. May the Giants win.
We'll keep wearing our Giants gear anyway.
Yeah.
All year long.
All right. Anything you want to explore today?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Okay. So let's start with our feet hip width apart. Let's bring one hand on the belly, the other hand on top. And let's find that belly breath. The most relaxing breath in the yoga artillery here. So big breaths into your belly. Long, smooth breaths out. And let's refine this a little bit further. Let's bring our hands on either side of the navel, connecting the middle fingers right at the navel. And as you breathe into your belly, notice how your hands move out and the fingers widen. Notice as you breathe out, the hands move in and the fingers narrow. As we work this belly breath, another 3 or 4 breaths, just letting the warmth of the hands penetrate through to the very center of yourself. And letting the warmth of the belly penetrate out through the back of the hands. As we start to play with moving energy around our body. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, let's bring our hands by our side. Let's focus on side body breath here. As we breathe in, the arms move out. As we exhale, the arms move in. 2 more times like this, breathing into side body. Exhaling. 1 more time, breathing into side body. Exhaling. Let's work on a more directed breath here as we bring our hands onto our ribs. Now let's inhale into our ribs and exhale. Again, notice as you breathe in, the hands are going to widen, the fingers are going to widen. As you breathe out, the hands move in, the fingers narrow. 1 more breath into those lungs. Now let's bring 2 hands just below the navel. Again, the middle finger can touch. And let's work on the exhale. So we're going to keep breathing into our lungs on the inhale. On the exhale, adding an active abdominal engagement as we draw the low belly in and up. Big breath into those lungs. Exhaling, strong abdominal engagement as you draw the low belly in and up. 1 more time like that, breathing into those ribs. And then strong abdominal engagement as you breathe out. Working with either breath, the belly breath or that more active breath. Let's narrow our stance to challenge our balance. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart, hands by our side. Before we do anything, just let those shoulders relax. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. Working, and I'll suggest a stronger, more engaged breath, breathing into our lungs. Abdominal engagement as we breathe out. Now adding a sound and feel component as we slightly constrict the base of the throat. Finding our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath. And letting the sound and feel of that throat constriction guide us through our practice. Now taking the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, hands by our side. If you closed your eyes, opening your eyes. Working with arms and shoulders, inhaling into those lungs as the arms move up and over the head. On the exhale, strong abdominal engagement as you breathe out, hands back down. 2 more times like this, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Adding a forward fold, half sun salutation, inhaling into those lungs. On the exhale, strong abdominal engagement as we find a forward fold. Take a breath into those lungs as we arc the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as we squeeze that low belly in and up. Inhaling, filling up the lungs, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, abdominal engagement as we bring our hands back down by our side. 2 more times like this, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling up. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more time to go here. Breathing in. Exhaling over. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, right in the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. I'll ask you to go sideways here. Sun salutation A. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, I'll ask you to ground down through the hands and find your down dog. And I will not cue vinyasa. So just stepping it back, holding your down dog. As we hold this down dog, I'll invite you to let the neck relax and the head be super heavy. As we hold it for 5 or 6 breaths, that active breath here, with every inhale, breathing into your lungs. With every exhale, scooping the low belly in and up towards the heart. So even though there's no overt movement, you're still working really hard here. Working with those deep, rich, very active breaths. In the midst of all that, if you feel to add a little movement to the shape, feeling free to bend one leg and then the other, maybe rocking the shoulders side to side. Maybe a little neck check here, just making sure that neck is relaxed and the head heavy. And if you chose to add movement, coming back towards stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And on the tail end of her breath, with that strong abdominal engagement, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And when I will cue vinyasa, inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back as we breathe into those lungs. Exhaling, squeezing the low belly in and up as we fold again, and then grounding down through the hands, keeping those elbows soft as we find a push-up. Feel free to use the knees or not. Inhaling either into cobra, the hips stay down, or lifting the hips up for your up dog. And then on the exhale, as you squeeze that low belly in and up towards the heart, drawing it back to down dog, and holding for 5 or 6 long, slow breaths. And again, the primary focus here is going to be that breath. But having said that, feeling free to rock the shape, move the shape. Again, connecting with your feeling body. You have our body, the obvious visual body. It's composed of all our material, all our mass. We have the breath body, and we have the feeling body. From a place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or maybe take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, breathing into those lungs, arms out to the side and then overhead. You might widen the fingers to mimic the ribs. On the exhale, standing tall. Let's do one more sun salé. We'll throw a moving plank into the mix. Inhaling into hands over head pose. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. And take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. Of course, feeling free to stay wherever you are for the purposes of this online class. I'll invite Kathy to find a moving plank as she inhales forward to plank pose. And then on the exhale, navel to spine as she lifts the hips high. 2 more times like this. Inhaling forward to the plank. On the exhale, back to down dog. 1 more time like this, keeping it simple. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. Taking it further. Inhaling forward to plank pose. And then finding an up dog with tucked toes as she heavies the hips. And then navel to spine as she lifts the hips high. 2 more times like this. Inhaling forward, finding your up dog with tucked toes. And then navel to spine, lifting hips high. Awesome. 1 more time. Breathing in, coming forward, letting those hips be heavy. And then navel to spine as you lift the hips high. And then holding for another couple of breaths. And again, finding that strong breath focus, breathing into those lungs. Exhaling, strong abdominal engagement. Big breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, arms out to the side, breathing into the lungs, widening the fingers to mimic the ribs. On the exhale, standing tall. Sun salutation B, flow style. Inhaling into our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, engaging the glutes to support a back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back, your choice. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, bringing that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for our warrior 1. Inhaling. And on the exhale, spinning the palms out, finding your low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. From down dog, second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, bringing that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to your low lunge. Take your time, find your breath. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. We hold down dog, sticking with this more engaged breath, but then trying to find an equal aspect to it. So same amount of air on the inhale, same amount of air on the exhale, same length and duration on the inhale, same length and duration on the exhale. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length, breathing into those lungs. Exhaling, squeezing the low belly in and up as we fold. Inhaling, stay low, knees over toes, hands over head, finding your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, engaging the glutes to support a back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. Let's do one more sun style beat. Let's throw a hip opener into the mix. Inhaling into our chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, glutes engaged to support a back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again, grounding down through the hands and making your way back to down dog as you will. Flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Without moving that right shoulder, twisting from the torso, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, bringing that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead for our warrior one. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you go. And second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the torso as we stack the hips, lifted leg straight. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, bringing that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you. And again, take your time, find your flow. And as we hold this down dog, sticking with that more involved, that more engaged breath, but also feeling free to add a little movement, a little swing, a little sway. Again, just feeling that connection with your feeling body. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher. More space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, coming back to our chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. Relax shoulders long through all sides of the neck with a slight tuck of the chin. Coming back to that internal focus, watching as our breath flows in and out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. Either stepping or jumping our feet hip width apart, or if they're already there, no need to do anything. Working with our fire breath, short, sharp exhalations out through our nose as we inhale, arms up to one side. On the exhale, passing hands through center, giving those wrists a little flick. And another side. Couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it back in. Sun Sal C, an extended standing pose sequence. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath into those lungs as you look up. Exhaling strong abdominal engagement as you fold. And grounding down through the hands, making your way back to down dog as you will. And we'll start the standing sequence with that same hip opener. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. High in the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, twisting from the torso, lifted leg straight. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands as we bring that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side. And then overhead for our warrior one. I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. If appropriate, shifting weight onto the front foot to go a little longer in your stance. And if you're already at your max, you'll stay right there. From here, let's stretch those hands high to the sky. With an inhale, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, gathering up the energy. Exhaling cactus arms as we bend that knee again. Inhaling up. Exhaling. We'll do 6 of these. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. I'll invite you to bring the elbows back, the hands come with, and I'll invite you to ripple those fingers, open heart, open throat, just enjoying the stretch. From here, let's bring hands back to the hips, and we'll turn warrior 1 hips into warrior 2 hips. Now, if you want to change direction, we'll steer the hips to face the side, and then we'll find one long arm looking out over those front fingers with a steady hip relaxed gaze. Feeling length in the arms, not just from the hands stretching out, but feel those shoulder blades moving away from the back of the heart. Tall through the crown of the head as the pelvic floor stretches down towards the floor. Nice. From here, I'll invite you to paint rainbows, straightening that front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling back to warrior 2. 6 times, breathing in and breathing out. Super loose, super fluid, inhaling and exhaling. Halfway done, breathing in. And breathing out. Last 2 here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. I'll invite you to hold that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher. Strengthen those fingers. Reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib. And breathing into that space. Again, coming back to that very active breath. Turning the reverse warrior back into warrior 2. Transitioning to our triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib, deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs, grinding that bottom hand down either on shin or bricks outside the calf. And we can use that hand and stay. Let's be very specific here. Bring it onto the ribs. You're going to rotate the ribs as you breathe into the ribs. Now that hand's going to come to the shoulder, opening up that shoulder. And now stretching that hand high. Either looking down to the ground, very grounding, off to the side, a little less so, and maybe up to the sky. Least grounded, but perhaps the most liberating. As we hold the triangle with every in-breath, gathering energy in your center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel, and it's a 3-dimensional ball of energy in the very center of yourself. As you breathe out from that 3-dimensional ball of energy, sending energy out to the legs, the arms, and both ends of the spine, connecting with the pulsation of the breath. And again, I'll invite you to find that very active breath, breathing into those ribs. On the exhale, squeezing the low belly in and up. Now either hanging out here for the purposes of this class, top hand finds the hip. We'll take a big step in. We're moving towards our half moon. Setting our base, right hand off to the right for the purposes of the camera. Kathy staying in frame. Looks like that brick could maybe go forward and out a little bit. Yeah, nice. Lifting that back leg. Again, we can use that top hand to good effect as we rotate the ribs. That's not really the ribs. There it is. And then the shoulder. Adding the shoulder, nice. And then stretching hand high. Nice. Awesome. In different places to look, right? You might make that adjustment. I can see that. Yeah, find your base. Either looking down off to the side or up to the sky. Let's work a little thigh and glutes here. As we bring hand to the hip again, I'll invite you to bend that knee 6 times. 1, no, the standing leg. Yeah, keep it that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now standing leg straight without locking the knee. We'll pulse the back leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back leg high as we take a big step back. And then shifting the weight into the feet. As you find your warrior 2, find your balance. And then from your warrior 2. So maybe establish that drishti first. Look over those front fingers. And then cycling through vinyasa. Finding your low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will. And take your time. And just keep our heat up here. Are you up for a moving plank again, or you want to relax? Okay. So inhaling forward to plank pose. On the exhale, navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. Now taking it further. Inhaling forward, finding your up dog with tucked toes. Hips get heavy, shoulders stay engaged. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Inhaling forward, finding your up dog with tucked toes. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. One more time here. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. And then holding your down dog as we come back to Samarvriti, same breath. Strong inhalations in. Strong exhalations out. And then try to measure or even out the length, the duration, the intensity. Now we'll work that standing sequence second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Yeah, feel free to organize yourself on the mat at home. Stay just where you are. Yeah. So left leg high, high in the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips, twisting from the torso. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between the hands, bringing that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for our warrior 1. In our warrior 1, I'll have you bring hands back to the hips. And then if it's right and good, shifting weight onto the front foot as you lengthen your stance. If you're already at your max, you stay right there. And then once you've established that foundation, stretching those hands high to the sky. From here with the breath, gathering energy, exhaling, offering it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out and holding. Bringing those elbows back, the wrists come with, rippling those fingers, open heart, open throat, enjoying the stretch. From here, let's bring hands back to the hips as we turn warrior 1 hips into warrior 2 hips, opening up the hips. You might narrow the stance. Classically, it's heel to arch alignment, and then finding one long arm looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. So really establish that drishti. You might even think of those fingers as magic fingers, and you're trying to cast a spell of some kind. It might work today with your coworkers. Casting a spell. Be calm, be peaceful. So, one more cue, yeah. So length, not just from the hands, but feel those shoulder blades.
I think I need a fan.
Tall through the crown. All right, I'm gonna turn the fan on. Oh, you already have one fan right here.
Haha.
Now we're gonna paint rainbows here as I turn the fan on. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We got 2 more to go. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll hold that last reverse warrior. I think we did 1 extra, no big deal. As we reach up higher, we reach down further, energy in those fingers, letting more space between each rib, both front and back lines, and breathing into that space. Again, that strong, strong breath we worked out with before. So breathing into the lungs, and strong low belly engagement. Now turning our reverse warrior back into warrior two. Let's establish that drishti, so really magic fingers, strengthen those fingers. And then transitioning to the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. I'm going to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. I'll grab your breaks here. Of course. You want to set your base. You can use that top hand to good effect. Yeah, if you don't need to, you don't need to. You can rotate those ribs. You can open up that shoulder. You can stretch that hand high. And either looking down, off to the side, or up to the sky. As you breathe into your center, the diaphragm stretches down towards the navel, gathering energy in a big ball of energy in the center of yourself. As you breathe out from your center, getting bigger in space, the diaphragm's relaxing and doming up to the heart on that impetus, sending energy out from the center of yourself to the periphery of the room. Moving towards our half moon. Top hand finds the hip, big step in. Take your time setting your base. Left hand off to the left. You need to center yourself in the frame. Go for it. And again, I suggest you can always tell. I think that's going to be a little hard for you. So I would say go a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks much more comfortable. You can use that top hand to rotate the ribs. Now opening up the shoulder. Now stretching hand high. And how's this fan? I go a little bit higher.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay, nice. And same deal. Breathing into your center. As you breathe out, getting bigger in space from the inside out. So let's do some thigh and glute work here. Top hand finds the hip. You're going to bend the standing leg 6 times. 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now standing leg straight without locking the knee. We're going to pulse the back leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back leg high as we take a big step back, softening the front knee. Shifting the weight into the feet as you find your warrior two and look out over those front fingers. Again, that's your energy line. And then a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders. Beautiful. As you find your low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And as we hold that down dog, you can either hold down dog, maybe you find a child's pose, whatever it takes to find that balance between your effort and your ease. And that's the place we want to work all these shapes. We're working hard, but not so hard that we're anxious to come out of the shape or to finish the sequence. We're enjoying our flow, we're enjoying our breath. We're enjoying that connection with our feeling body. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. So hands can cap the knees on that one. Really arc the back. Yeah, a little bit more space there. Now rounding the spine as you fold again. Strong abdominal engagement. Inhaling, coming back to your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, little back bend at the top, glutes engaged. Nice. And then on the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. This time adding an isometric engagement as we press the palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of your center. And coming back to that very active breath, inhaling into the lungs. Exhaling, strong low belly engagement as we squeeze a little more air out. Big breath into those lungs. Strong low belly engagement. Big breath into those lungs. Strong low belly engagement. And then lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by your side. If your feet aren't already hip width apart, we can step or jump them that way. And let's work that fire breath again, this time inhaling arms out to each side. On the exhale, passing the hands through center, short, sharp exhalation out through the nose, and then switching the cross. Couple more. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it back in. Standing half lotus. Hands find the hips as you shift weight to the right. You might angle those right toes out just a tad to give your hip a little more space. Bending the right knee, bringing left ankle on top of the thigh. Sitting down in an invisible chair. Hands either stay on hips or hands find the heart. Hands either stay at heart or we sweep those hands high, maybe lifting the face to look up to the sky. Nice. High hands find the heart. Heart hands find the hips. Straightening the right leg as you lift that left thigh high for the flamingo. And then leaning a little bit forward as we draw energy into our center, so really lean forward. I want the belly to do it and not the low back as you lengthen through that leg. Soft point to the toe. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through. We're going to find warrior one prep, so you might want to adjust yourself sideways. From warrior one prep, let's find a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale, circling the hands around. 6 times, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. 2 more to go here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one here. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back. The hands come with. Rippling those fingers. Nice. From this place, I'll invite you to stretch those hands high. Spinning back heel up for high crescent lunge. Getting a nice stretch in the psoas here. And then from here, spinning the palms out, making your way back to low lunge, and then back to down dog, as you will. Do full breaths. So we're moving towards our swan, also known as the pigeon. So we have left ankle on top of right thigh. So let's stay with the left leg here. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the torso, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now sweeping that left knee towards left wrist. I'll suggest keeping the knee joint closed. Walking the right foot back as we settle the hips. Finding the tips of 10 fingers as we settle the shoulder blades back and down the back. Keeping a sense of space, leading with the heart as you find a forward fold. Let me move a couple of these things here. Your T's right there. And then heading the forward head down. I'll invite you to keep the arms engaged so the elbows are lifting up and off the floor as we get a nice stretch in our upper back. Whatever sensations you're feeling, be it upper back or hips, breathing into those sensations. Again, connecting with your feeling body. Now walking those fingers in, take the time to set the shoulder blades back and down on the tips of 10 fingers. Strong abdominal engagement as you draw the base of the pelvis up towards the navel up towards the heart, as we sweep those hands high to the sky, finding our flying swan. I'll invite you to lift the face to look up between those hands. Nice. From here, spinning the palms out, grounding down through 2 palms this time. Yeah, if you want to do a little wrist stretch, go for it. As you tuck the back toes, keeping that knee joint closed as you lift that left leg. And then very carefully opening up that knee, inviting more flow, more prana, more vitality into the knee. We squeezed that out, now we're inviting it back in so we can refresh and revitalize that connective tissue and everything else that makes up our knee. From our down dog shape, either hanging out here or cycling through vinyasa, depending on your energy level. down dog. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump up. Take a breath, a fine line. Hands can cap the knees. Yeah, really. Yeah, you want to. So there. So you want to move to this place here. Yeah, there you go. And now you're going to find that deep rounding of the spine. If you did want to add a little traction, go for it. And then we'll come back to our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, glutes engaged, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll allow you to bring hands to heart. This time finding a clasp of the fingers, keeping the heels of the hands together as you try to pull those fingers apart. Shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the neck, connecting with the strength of your center. And we can come back to that very involved breath here, breathing into the ribs. On the exhale, low belly in and up. Breathing into those ribs. On the exhale, low belly in and up. One more time here, breathing into those ribs. On the exhale, low belly in and up. And then lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. Standing half lotus, second side, as we shift weight onto the left foot. We can angle those left toes out just a tad. Hands find the hips as we bring that right ankle on top of the thigh. Sitting down in our invisible chair. Hands can stay on hips or hands might find the heart. We might sweep those hands high to the sky, maybe lifting the face to look up between the hands. Nice. Now if you want to circle the wrists, go for it. High hands find the heart. Heart hands become hip hands as we straighten the standing leg without locking the knee for the flamingo. Yeah, so find the flamingo first, bent knee. And I want to add that little forward. Yes, you want to draw energy into your center here. You want the belly to do the work and not the low back as you straighten that leg. Soft point to the toe. Nice. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through. Feel free to adjust yourself as you find your warrior one. In warrior one, and then arms up to the sky. From here, let's find that tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale, circling around 6 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. We got 2 more to go here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding one more time here. The elbows move back. The hands come with. Rippling those fingers. Open heart, open throat. A little lift of the chin. Nice. And from here, let's bring hands back to the hips. And let's do a little different order this time. Let's spin that back heel up. And then once you have your balance, we'll sweep those hands high for high crescent lunge. So we do a nice stretch in the psoas, where that front of the thigh connects into the hip. Now feel free to do the wrist action. And then from here, back to low lunge as we spin those hands out, framing front foot, and then back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. And because we had the right foot on left thigh, we're going to stay with the right leg here. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart, right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips, twisting from the torso. Now bending that leg, opening up that hip. Now bringing that right knee to right wrist. Take your time, keeping the knee joint closed, and then walking left foot back as we settle the hips. Take your time. Tips of 10 fingers as we settle the shoulders back and down the back. And then keeping that openness, leading with the heart, as you spider those fingers front. Take your time to get a nice back stretch. Millimeter by millimeter. Inch by inch. And then once the arms are in extension, we'll invite you to keep the arms engaged, but let the forehead heavy onto the mat as you get a nice stretch in the upper back. As we hold the sleeping swan, whatever sensations you're feeling, be it in the shoulders, be it in the hips, breathing into those sensations, connecting with your feeling body with your breath. So working that intense breath into the ribs. Exhaling low belly in and up. Breath into those ribs. Exhaling low belly in and up. Breath into those ribs. Exhaling low belly in and up. Now we're going to spider those fingers back as we prepare for the flying swan, settling those shoulder blades back and down. And then strong abdominal engagement. The perineum moves up towards the navel, navel up towards the heart as we float those arms out to the side and then overhead. And then I'll invite you to lift the face, to look through those hands. And if you want to add little wrist circles, whatever feels right and good, spreading the fingers, connecting with your hands. And if you really think about it, soles of the feet, palms of the hands, that's really, that's our feeling body, because that's how we feel the earth most of the time, either walking on the earth or picking things up or writing or typing. Anyway, spinning the palms out, back to your low lunge as you tuck the back toe, keeping that knee joint closed. Yeah, we're not coming to low lunge, we're coming to three-legged dog with a closed knee joint. And now very carefully, opening that knee joint, inviting more flow into the knee, chasing away any congestion. And then when you're ready, routing down through that foot, either holding your down dog or one last time this morning, an opportunity to cycle through vinyasa. In from down dog, I'll invite you to find a child's pose as you land the knees lightly, sits bones back to the heels, nestling your belly in between your thighs. And again, I'll suggest arms in extension, but this time letting your elbows rest and relax. Either keeping the palms down or maybe spinning the palms up, whatever feels right and good for you. Starting to move to a place of great ease as we prepare for our Shavasana. Now walking the hands back, bringing your feet off to one side, finding two long legs in front. I'll invite you to come to the top of your mat so your head has something soft to land down on. Starting from your neutral spine, or tall spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. So just Frankenstein arms. And then finding C-spine as you tuck tail and chin and slowly, slowly, slowly roll yourself down. Nice. You can always catch the back of the thighs for the assist. When we get down, full body stretch, arms by the ears, not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. That might be a little too low, so maybe a little less. Feel that. Notice if you go low, the ribs start to harden. You want to stop short of that place. A little bit of space in the low back. And then sweeping your hands by your side as you find your Shavasana. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you. Tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips. So still breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as you'd like. For the purposes of this class, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body. Bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, followed by a longer, slower exhalation out. Finding a more relaxing breath, long, smooth breaths in. Longer, smoother, slower breaths out. Now rippling fingers and toes as we invite more prana, more vitality into our bodies. Inviting that prana, that vitality in towards center as we gently circle wrists and ankles. I'll invite you to add a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you, connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now pressing your back into the mat, just support the action of the legs. As we draw one knee into the heart, the other knee follows. Hands catch the shins. Using your thighs to gently massage your center of balance as you gently lift and lower your low back and hips. Now stretching long through the right arm, rolling onto your right side. Having a breath here on your side. I'm going to let you let that breath sigh out through your mouth. Softening your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, softening the corners of your eyes. And the neck relax, face soft as you push on up to claim a cross-legged sit. Take your time. As we sit, grounded down through our sits bones, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to settle the shoulders. Long through all sides of the neck with a slight tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and out. And we can find a more relaxed breath here. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you, and in that light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone at home, for watching with us. And I love how namaste sounds like have a nice day. And we'll see you guys real soon.
Namaste. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.